We're back. I realize it's been a few weeks, but we're back on track today. I've had a bit of a cough, so hopefully I can make it through this just for a couple minutes. I was joking with Erica. I was holding the camera here that I kind of feel like, do you have any Wayne's World fans out there where they kind of drop the product, like Doritos or whatever? Got the essential oils back here. That's one thing I love about working here. I came in with a little cough today, and all of a sudden, people have this set up, and it's just an awesome place to work. We're looking out for each other. Anyway, I wasn't quite done talking about root canals last time, so I'm just going to bore you a little bit more with root canals because I have this, we're talking about specialists and endodontists who do root canals, and people often wonder, why do I have to go? I want to go to a dentist who does all root canals. There's no two alike root canals, is the truth, and that's why we refer you. So we made Erica, by we, I mean Erica, made this little illustration. I started talking about drinking straws. Kind of like what we need to clean out on the inside of your tooth. It's like cleaning out a drinking straw. So I'll make a little bit of sense of this in just a minute. But we want you to get a good result if you do invest in a root canal. So I want to put together a couple of common things that I hear from patients. One thing is I'll hear, do you do all root canals? I really want it done here, which is a great thing to ask me, and I'd love it if I could. And they'll say, oh, my friend so-and-so went down someplace, and they were in and out of there in an hour, and they got their root canal done. Well, that's great. I really hope that root canal is still successful in 5 years, because if it's not, they're probably still going to remember how much they spent on it and that it didn't work. And then I have other patients who come in and they've had root canals done years ago, and maybe they're failing, maybe they're not doing very well, and unfortunately there's no treatment for that short of drastic, meaning you either got to surgically redo the root canal, you have to remove the tooth a lot of times. So it's a big deal to get them done correctly, and they're hard to do. Let's just be honest. As a dentist, as a human being, these things are hard to do. They're like having to clean out a straw, the inside of a straw from one end. And those straws are buried inside your tooth, attached to a person who might be fearful, they might be jumpy, they might be hard to get numb, something. I have to drill this tiny little hole and find these tubes. And it's a fun challenge as a dentist, but at the same time I have to know my limitations. Anyway, so let's pretend that this is your tooth. This Dixie cup is your tooth right now. And here's some ruts down here. So you can't see those. And when I drill into the top, so I have to drill a hole into the top of the tooth, I have to find the ends of these little guys. And they are a lot smaller than these huge suction tubes in there. So when I'm drilling in there to find them, to scale, they're probably more like a bobby pin on the inside here. These things are huge in relativity to the Dixie cup. So anyway, once I find them, use magnification, and I have these are loops. They're about 2.5 times magnification. Not real easy, even with these, to see this. That's why at a specialist office they're going to have a microscope. So your tooth is down here attached to you, and they've got a scope, and they can really accurately see those canals inside there, that we call them, so that they can clean them out. Sometimes there's one, sometimes there's up to 4 or even 5 canals inside there. They can be really difficult to find. If you don't find them all, and don't clean them all out, you're going to have a failure. So an x-ray this gentleman came in with, this is attached to a person, of course. I don't know if you're going to be able to pick this up on the phone. This root canal, the filling material shows up as the whiter stuff going down inside. He's got an infection down here. Doesn't hurt him. Didn't know it was there. He's got a root canal and a filling and a crown on top of here, which is a great investment for him. Unfortunately, this root canal is failing, and I'm going to have to remove this whole tooth. And it really doesn't look like it was too bad of a job, but it's just an illustration that it's a difficult procedure. So there's endodontists for you and why they're so important. If I see that you've got a tooth that has a pretty large canal and maybe there's only 1 or 2 of them in there, I'm going to be more comfortable treating you. Also, if the infection isn't too bad yet, I'm going to be more comfortable treating you. But if I feel like, oh, maybe there's 4 or 5 of these little things in there to find, I'm probably going to recommend that you see a specialist, because it's difficult as a general dentist, and I really feel unethical to because I could just go in there and treat it, and you wouldn't really ever know, right? But I'm not going to do that. If I know that it's beyond my ability and it's best for you to see a specialist and then request that you go there. And quite frankly, the fees aren't very much different either. So anyway, if you're going to make an investment in root canals, make sure that person knows what they're doing. That's a little bit about my side of root canals. Thanks.